Hello, everyone. We are in the house today with Cathy Savage on the Sisterhood of Sweat podcast. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about Cathy. There's a lot to say. She's pretty darn amazing, and she's a huge mentor of mine. I would not be where I am today without Cathy, and she's the best. She's like taken me from a novice fitness competitor and molded me and brought me to where I am now in my career. So I cannot say enough about Cathy. And basically, I'm trying to pull up her bio, so just bear with me here. Because I could say a lot about her on my own.
Don't even worry about it.
It's not coming up. I don't know why.
That's okay.
Oh, here you are. Here we go. All right. So I'm sure some of you guys are just now getting on. So if you didn't hear me, I am here with Cathy Savage of Cathy Savage Fitness, my mentor. She has developed my fitness career to where it is today. I have a gym, a studio, a book, and I still compete, and I will soon be 55. So, it's pretty amazing. It's non-extreme, the methods that she uses, and it's for everybody. So let me just get in without further ado and tell you about Cathy. Cathy is an internationally recognized fitness and figure coach and entrepreneur who is located in Boston. She has been featured on MTV, ABC News, and Fox News, and she is currently a member of the prestigious advisory panel and contributor for Oxygen Magazine and Strong Magazine, two of my favorite. Since the early 1990s, Cathy has been the pioneer in successful competition coaching for aspiring athletes from all over the world. Cathy coaches women and men with sports-specific training, nutrition, stage presentation, marketing, and branding, and careers in the fitness world. Cathy's online nutrition and training program is the first and most prominent all-inclusive global training program of its kind. Her company is known for transforming the physiques of both athletes and people who simply want to look like they compete with a natural, non-extreme approach. That's rare in the fitness industry. And no matter where they live, Cathy has coached and mentored celebrities, athletes, television personalities for lifestyle changes and business strategies as well. Her clients span the globe from the US to Australia, Asia, and Europe, and throughout North America. Welcome, Cathy, to the show.
Hello, Linda, my darling. I'm so happy to be here.
Well, I'm so happy to have you, and I just can't wait to dive into one of the first Cathyisms I've ever heard from you. And I have to tell you, each coach out there, famous football coaches and basketball, Michael Jordan's coach, they all have these things that make them unique, right?
Yes.
And so, if you're a good coach, you're going to say things that nobody else says. And one of the ones that I remember specifically is when you were talking about dropping the pencil, that, we had to learn to walk in these, I'm going to call them hooker heels. We have to walk in the glass slipper. And so, it takes a lot of confidence to walk, you guys. I didn't realize I didn't know how to walk, but Cathy tells us how to drop the pencil. Can you tell them what that means, what that whole story is, and what is drop the pencil walk?
Yes. Well, thank you, Linda. And thank you for acknowledging that, yes, coaches have to be original in their thought process. And that's what makes them a great coach. And doing this for 30 years, I've got a lot of Cathyisms. But when I say make them drop their pencils, and what's cool is this goes into life as well as competitions. Any type of stage of life, whether it's a board meeting or the PTA meeting, when you walk in a room, you want someone to literally drop what they're doing and take notice of you. And that has nothing to do with beauty. It has everything to do with charisma. So when you are competing, you walk onto a stage and there's a panel of judges and, they have their pencils ready to judge. My goal is to have every woman be so darn charismatic that the judges' jaws drop and their pencils drop and they literally just take in your greatness. And I teach that to all my competitors. I teach that to my daughter when she applies for private school in her interviews. I want people to just drop what they're doing and take notice and be present in your greatness. And everybody has that within them. You just got to get it out. That's what it is. So, when you're not doing things right, people are criticizing you. They mark it down. But when a great woman comes on stage, you just go, wow, look at you. That's what it's all about.
And what makes them great is the confidence that they bring. Now, how can a person instill more confidence? I know that's one of the biggest things that people have to work on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my God. Yeah. I mean, it's truly amazing that a woman, especially, we'll talk about women for a minute, their lack of confidence usually is because they've actually given some measure of value to someone else's opinion. And so when we kind of lose our story of what others portray us to be, and we stand in our truth, then we realize, you know what? I'm pretty darn awesome. I don't need to worry about what other people say. So that lack of confidence comes from you identifying yourself from someone else's story. And usually it's either someone in your youth that told you weren't good enough, or a coach saying you aren't enough, or a partner, a spouse. It all comes from somewhere, because as kids, we think we can do anything. So that lack of confidence usually comes from an outside source that says you're not good enough. And so my job is to rewire women and men to help them understand that their grace and their greatness is right there. They just have to literally turn that switch on.
Wow, now that's quite the answer. It kind of goes along with my next question. And basically last night I was talking.
We don't even know.
She has no idea what I'm going to ask her.
Which I love. This is the way
I have no idea, you guys. She is just like Elaine Lelaine. She shoots from the hip.
Oh, I love Elaine.
So I love it. Last night I was, she's amazing. Like, I love her. I love her like I love you.
Aww, thanks.
Last night I was talking about you and telling a story to my son's girlfriend, because she had some sort of a pineapple sticker. I don't know what. She's crazy about pineapples. And so I was telling her their whole story. She did not understand what "don't be a pineapple" meant. And so, I love your Cathyisms. Don't be a pineapple, you guys. And this goes along with confidence. And I just want you to tell them your pineapple story, because I think it's worth hearing, and it goes so with what we're talking about.
Oh my gosh, which one is it? Because it's several pineapple ones. You've got pineapple hair, you've got all the ones. What's the one you remember? And then I'll elaborate, because there's a couple different ones.
Oh my God, I'm missing out. I almost want to hear a new one. Yeah, the pineapple hair story sounds pretty fun, but basically she said go ahead.
No, you go, because I love it. I love when someone relays back to me what they think it is.
Okay. You basically said, don't be a pineapple to somebody, because basically what happened was somebody told them they're a pineapple, or they told them they're ugly, or they told them they're fat, or they told them they were stupid, or they told them something that wasn't true. And people believe what people tell them. And so you're like, are you a pineapple? If I tell you you're a pineapple, are you a pineapple? Do you remember that now?
Good. I am so happy that you told that correctly. And I wasn't testing you, but there's so many different ways. And so, yeah, when people say, well, people say I'm this and people say I'm that. And I say, well, what if they called you a pineapple? Would you equally be upset? And they're like, well, no, I'm not a pineapple. And I say, well, why would you believe someone when they say you're fat? Is it true? So every time someone says something about you, you always want to say, is it true? And because that's really the question. It's not what they say. And we get very sensitive when we think it could be true. Like, for example, Linda, you're very overly confident, or Linda, you're very arrogant, you might say, whoa, is that true?
Right.
But if I said, Linda, you're a pineapple, you'd be like, Cathy, what are you saying? I want people to take that response of being called a pineapple the same way when someone says to you something that you know isn't true and that it won't hold any weight. But we tend to hold weight on those things that we aren't sure of, what others perceive us to be. And we got to get away from that. And that's the whole story of the pineapple. So if I said, Linda, you need to drop 5 pounds, I want you to have that same attitude. And this isn't coming from a coach. This is from some person on the internet. I want you to have that same response of like, I'm not a pineapple, go away. That's what the story of the pineapple is. So don't put any weight on what others think or say about you, because it's not your truth.
I love that. And you put that so well. And I know that you have taken many, like Lori Harder would be one that comes to mind. Lindsay Messina would be another that comes to mind, to heights in their career like none other. And so they have people tell them they're pineapples, or tell them, things. And there's a lot of haters out there, like Stacey Vinegro, when she was in People magazine for being a buffed pregnant mom, the haters came out of the woodwork. Like it was crazy, the things people said to her.
Yep.
And of course, if she was overweight, out of shape, and I don't know, like sitting eating bonbons, they would criticize her too. Yeah. And so you deal with a lot of that. How do you overcome, or how do you unhook? That's how I like to say. How do you unhook from caring what people think of you?
Yeah, that's such a great question. People look at me as a fitness coach, but I'm more of a strategy coach than anything, because this is what I love. This is what I've learned. These are the professional sports coaches that I've studied, that I've learned from. A lot of people listen to like self-help coaches and things like that. And I've never really followed anybody like that. I follow great athletic coaches, the greatest coaches of all time. How do you motivate a team that has a losing record? I want to know those things. So I've learned from John Wooden and Coach K and Bill Belichick and the greatest coaches of all times. And so I love being able to help people release their story. And so my strategy is to always have people tell me what their story is, just like that. So people say, I have no business getting on stage, or people say, I have no business trying to get on the cover of a magazine. And what I do is I have people say that story over and over and over and over again until they're sick of it. And so when you get sick of your story, and this is just a strategic coaching method that I use, then you understand how stupid it is. I have them tell their 5-minute story, clucking their wings, or singing their story in opera, like, nobody likes me, I've had a bad childhood, it all started when my parents divorced. And I have them tell their story so many times that they're sick of it. Because when you're sick of it, then you're able to release it. And that's a lot of NLP coaching, where you literally make your big story smaller, the things that are holding you back. With Lori Harder, that was huge for her, because people see her as such a powerful, strong woman now. And that was not the case when I met her. And so it was literally rewiring her and pouring belief into her as well. And that's when you find your voice. So you can't find your voice unless you're able to release the stories that others are telling about you and the ones you're telling yourself. So my method is always to get so sick of your story that you just don't want to hold on to it again, because it's almost a comfort zone. And that story or an excuse is what's holding you back. So the minute you get rid of that excuse, the minute you plow through it, dig over it, jump over it, go underneath it, that's where transformation begins. So you got to get through it. And the way you get through it is to go right at it, own it, accept it, be sick of it, and be done with it and leave it in the past.
I love that. And just the whole thing about comfort zone. I know a lot of times with your neural pathways, the reason why maybe you you lose weight and then you go back is because you don't feel comfortable in this new space, in this new body, and the unknown is there. And so you run back to that comfort zone. Yes. And so you literally have to develop new neural pathways to be able to step forward into newness and get rid of the old. And you, like you said, you do have to be sick of it.
Yeah.
And so this year I'm going to step way out of my comfort zone, stepping way out. I decided to unhook from what people think of me because I've always been a people pleaser, and I like people to like me. And I've been guilty of all of it. And so with my routine, I really unhooked with the music and just the whole theme of it. For Fitness America, I'm totally going to step out of my comfort zone, you guys. So I'm going right along with what Cathy teaches in her coaching. And so you really have made an impact on my life as well as so many others.
Well, you're a very special person, Linda.
Oh, thank you so much.
Special soul. And it's an honor to know you, quite frankly.
Oh, thank you so much. And you basically have to fill your cup up to be able to do all this. I mean, because you do a lot. So what do you do to fill yourself up? Because you're just giving all day long.
Yeah, if you saw me 30 minutes ago, you would see 2 personal cell phones ringing, my home office ringing, my kids needing help. It's a 3-ring circus. And that's what every entrepreneur's life is. It's never calm. It's a roller coaster. So I always say, if you like the merry-go-round, don't be an entrepreneur. If you like roller coasters, this is your deal. How do I fill my cup? Well, I think that I have a very strong opinion on that. And it goes a little something like this. I'm a mother of 2 amazing children. I care for my mom who's aging, and they are my life. They are my light. They are and my husband as well. And I will never be first. I will never be first. My faith, God, my family, they go first. But I'm in the top 3. And so when I hear people say, put yourself first, I want to make sure that if you're a nice person and a mom, if you're going to have a hard time with that. So moms feel guilty because they sit back and say, well, so-and-so tells me to put myself first, but I can't put myself first. And I say, well, how about the top 3? Can you be in the top 3? And they say, yes, I can do that. And it's automatically like, wow, I don't have to say those words. I go first. I can take care of my kids and my family and still be in the top of the list of priorities, because you really do have to fill your cup. What I do is I am so structured with my time. I run 2 multi-million-dollar businesses, and I literally carve the time in for freedom, getting away from it, vacations with my kids and family. Those are the things that fill my cup, my time with the people that I love. And Linda, you're 55. I'm going to be 54 in 3 months. Time is my thing. Time is the new black. Because I want to spend all my time with my kids, my family. That matters so much to me. So I carve out those times, and they're non-negotiables. And you usually cannot get me at certain times. That's why I have a personal cell phone. Nobody knows the number except my family. So I can literally shut my stuff off. I had to do that. My husband was like, get 2 cell phones. I'm like, yep, I got 2 cell phones. And Barbara Corcoran taught me that from Shark Tank. She said, I
was just going to ask about that.
It's like, you got to shut that phone off and get another phone. And it works. So when I'm out with my family, I only use that other phone, which does not have email, nothing. It doesn't have the internet. It's just a phone, and I can text from it. That's it. Nobody knows that number, just my family. So that's
because I can't imagine. I mean, not like competitors would call you and be like, oh my gosh, I can't fit in my suit. Oh my gosh, what color should it be? And I could see you going crazy with it.
Yep. And you have to manage your time or you'll burn out. And I still love what I do. And I think time management is something I'm really good at. I've become a good student at it. I'm still not perfect, but you have to have it in your life, especially as a woman and a mom, to be able to do the things you love. You have to put time management as a priority. Otherwise, you lose your mind.
Well, speaking of Barbara Corcoran that you met with, right? You met with of Shark Tank.
Yes.
that was an experience that transformed your life and your business. What can you tell us what you learned from her that we could take forward?
Yeah, it's funny. I went there for one thing and came and mentored with her, and then came home with something completely different, which was awesome. I had to really prepare for that work. And she looked at my business prior to when we first met and accepted me. And it was nerve-wracking for sure. She swears and she's awesome. And I was on the hot seat a little bit, and that was not normal for me. Usually I'm the one in control. And I just kind of gave up my control, let her look at everything objectively. And the biggest thing I learned from her and walked away from her was time management skills, which I did not have prior to her. I was burning the candle at both ends. I was trying to be there for everybody, pleaser, just like you described. And she looked at my schedule. She actually grabbed my phone. How many emails I had. She grabbed it away from me and ran through her office and said, look at this phone. Look how many emails she has. Look at the text. This is chaos. And it was embarrassing, but it was free, it was liberating as well. And she taught me what she does. And it was exactly what I said. You get the second phone, you take blocks of time off during the week, which I never did. So there's times during the week that are 3 to 4 hour spans that I am completely, in the dark world. No one knows where I am except my family. And she took everything I did and restructured it so that I could really do power hours of time, meaning when I'm on and there's no distraction, but there are those times to take a break. And honestly, it was so freeing for me because I thought I had to do everything. And she said, where's the time for you to charge up your engines? And she also looked at my my company as a whole. And the best thing she ever said to me was, everyone needs to be a savage girl. Everybody.
I love that.
And so it was more like reassurance, like, wow, I'm doing everything right. And she said, you are one of the greatest entrepreneurs I've ever seen. You don't need investments from me or anyone else. You just need to keep going. And it was so reassuring. But the biggest thing she got on me was time. She said, you are burnt, you're going too hard. And as a result, I hired more people because she suggested that. And I restructured everything so that my time for just to recharge was as equally as important as me working in my business. And she also taught me to work on my business, not in my business as well.
So if you guys hear that, it's important to take time to recharge your batteries.
Yes.
And what I've noticed since you did that is that your whole business, you've done more. Mm-hmm. It's been quality. You've done more. It's transformed your business.
Yes, it did. We've literally just doubled our gross, our bottom line, but also she advised me to keep going with teaching others. She said, Cathy, you're at the top of your industry. It's time to teach others how to do what you do. And that's when I started doing more of my Fit Biz Mastery and my academies, because you get to that point where you're just like, I want to teach others. I want to pay it forward and have them do it the right way. And that has been such a beautiful thing that we've added more of a full-time thing to our business. And quite frankly, I want to be able to provide things for my existing clients, teaching them how to brand and teaching them mindset and all of those things that we were doing before, but not as structured. So she kind of set that up for me as well.
And I absolutely love that. And that is my next point. Basically, we're flowing because you're training all these people basically to do what you do. And I know a lot of times in the fitness industry, there's a lot of competitiveness as far as, not even just in competing. It's like, gyms, are like, you left and went to this, you're dead to me because and so what I have loved and what I have admired about you is you raise people up like Lori Harder, Lindsay Messina, Angela Gargano, Stacey Vinegro. I could probably go on for days. And you have no jealousy. You know what I'm saying? You're raising these people up. You're saying, go. You are like the mothership, the mama, and of all her little chicks. And that to me takes a special person, because I have just seen a lot of people that don't want to show you what they know, because they have that lack, they have that fear of lack. So how did you get to this place? Because I think it's a good place, and I think most of us should try to achieve that.
Yeah, I won't get emotional, but one of the greatest gifts my father gave me was the definition of success. And he said, Cathy, you'll only know success when you help others achieve the same success. And I'll never forget those words. And it wasn't just a one-time thing he said that, it was how I was raised. So I was always raised in a team environment, whether I was playing sports or anything. So I always had that measure of together we all win. The law of abundance, the 4 agreements. These things are embedded into my head so that I don't feel that way. Now, with that being said, there were those times when I get paranoid because people have, quite frankly, taken my stuff and started their own thing. And so,
it's hard, right?
Yeah,
it's hard.
And you know it too. And
absolutely.
So, I always say you get the 5-minute rant and then you shift over to, wow, I'm so grateful that someone thinks enough of me to take what I've done, but they're not me. And Lindsay Messina once said to me when, people would do that to me, is she'd say, Cathy, everybody else is a window cleaner. You're Windex. Everyone else is a tissue, but you're Kleenex, and so it's so funny the way they say it. But, the greatest success you can have is to watch others go in your footsteps and have them soar. And there's enough of the piece of the pie for everyone. So when I recommend or acknowledge you or Lori or Alicia Marie or all these wonderful people that I've had the opportunity to work with, it's not a reflection on don't look at me anymore. It all works out and I've been blessed because most of the people that I work with, most of them remember where they started and their roots are deep. And so we've always kept this beautiful relationship. All those people you mentioned, we've always kept this beautiful relationship together. And I believe that my father was right. And he just said, you're not going to be a measure of success on your own. You have to help people find their success. And that's what makes you a legacy. That's what makes you a legend, not anything that you personally did. So I've really lived my life that way. And I'm teaching my kids to do the same.
Well, I know that a lot of people will be grateful, but then there are those that basically really hit you where you live.
Yeah.
And so how, I know you were going through something when your father was literally dying with somebody. And so how did you turn that around? Because it is hurtful. You are human.
Yeah. You have the 5-minute rant of like, I can't believe someone's doing this to me at the lowest time of my life, or even if it's not the lowest time of your life. So you have to own it, just the same way of losing the story. You own it, acknowledge it, and move past it. And I'll never forget, my dad was in the hospital and I was telling him, I said, God, this person who's working for me, she's doing some really crappy things and I can't believe it. And he looked at me and he said, sounds like she just did you the biggest favor because you don't want anybody like that working for you. And again, the light switch, I was like, oh my God, you're right. So I'll tell you this, Linda, and I want your listeners to really hold on to this, is when someone does something to you, it always works out for you. Because the minute someone who is in your corner, in your tribe, in your circle of friends, if they kind of double cross you or they do something that is hurtful to you, releasing them like an anchor, when you do that, champions and new opportunities and all these things will present themselves to you. So while every situation I've ever been through in a business that has looked like, oh God, that's so awful, what happened? Something huge and wonderful and even better comes out of it. And there's never been a moment when that has not been the case. So I always tell people, just don't worry about someone who did you wrong because they're closing that door that needs to be closed and something even better is waiting for you. It happens every time. So
oh my gosh, that is so true because I would not have the Chick Fit Studio now if it wasn't for a door that closed. Basically, this person decided to They were only going to have, I was a non-contract, so I had my own business within a business, and they were only going to do this franchise where, you know, you had to have people that you hired directly working for you. And I just remember, like, I cried all night about it.
I remember that. I remember that. I remember you going through that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I literally, you know, was like, oh my gosh, I built my business there for 5 years, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, I needed to be pushed out of the nest. It was time to move on to something else. And man, did I mean, I can't even imagine.
Yep.
So I've seen that in many things. And so I agree with you so much about, like, when people give you the gift of goodbye, you know, sometimes it is a gift, right? Yeah. And sometimes they take a lot of people with them, but like your father said, they did you a favor.
Oh my God, it was the biggest favor. And I wish nothing but love and light for anyone who did me wrong for whatever reason they needed to at the time. There's just all so much forgiveness and no negativity, because I believe in the vision of the quest. And that is every person that comes in your life is a teacher, and they're merely a chapter in your life of your novel. And so, you know, every single person has a purpose and a place, and it's a purpose to move you into the space you're supposed to be in. I got better and better with each of those moments. Luckily, there haven't been many, but I got better at what I did. And I would never be where I'm at right now had some people kind of left and moved on. It's clearly incredible. And I try to teach that to new entrepreneurs, new fitness people, because you're right, Linda. And I strongly remember when that happened to you. And that's when you bring in your troops, your tribe, your people who are there for you. And you learn who's loyal, and you learn who your friends are. And you just make that decision to, like, hold solid ground like you did. And it always works out for the best, because if you're comfortable, you're just going to coast. And when you coast, you only go one way, and that's down. And so these people, these situations, these things make you better and more assertive. And you have so much more quality because it means more to you now. So it really is. And that's something I work with a lot of women for, because a lot of people go through that, whether it's, you know, in business or relationships or all of these things, that idea that everyone is a teacher serves a purpose in your life. Because, you know, you work with women and you hear people say, you know, oh, I just wasted 5 years on that guy. I just gave my life.
That dirtbag or whatever they say.
That's not what it is. They were there for a reason. They were there to teach you what you don't need or what you are missing out on. And if you take that mindset approach, every aspect of your life is more purposeful. So you've got to love all over the good, and you've got to love all over the bad, because it's going to get you to your true purpose.
Well, yeah. And if you hang on to your past, you can't move on to your future.
That's right.
So you have to let go of it. That's the biggest thing I've learned.
Absolutely.
And so I'm very excited about your lifestyle coaching program that you've started for fitness professionals. Can you tell us about that and what people will learn with it?
Oh, yeah, sure. You know, so many people come to me and they say, I want to be a lifestyle coach, not necessarily a personal trainer, but they want to help others live a healthy life. And living a healthy life is kind of in now, you know, and I was saying that the other day. I don't even know where I was saying it, somewhere on social media, that it's really cool to, like, drink green juice, and it's really cool to work out. And, like, as we were talking, my husband just brought me a acai bowl, like a green ice, like it's just cool. This is the way our life is. And luckily in our world, the wellness industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And a lot of people want to do it, and they want to be a part of it, but they don't know where to go. And so I created kind of a boutique business model of an academy, because a lot of academies have hundreds and hundreds of people in it. You never talk to the person running it, and they're fabulous. They're fabulous academies, but mine is more boutique oriented, where I work one-on-one and work in a small collective group of people who want to, number one, learn how to be a lifestyle coach, which is not specific to here's your training program. It's more, how do I navigate my day and live a healthy lifestyle by making good choices? And it also teaches them how to literally put the business together, because a lot of people are great coaches, but they don't know how to promote themselves or how to use social media or how to create a mailing list, or how
That's probably most of us. It's most of us.
Right. And so what I've done is I kind of done a lot of the work for them, but I want to teach them so that they can focus on being a good coach. Because all that other stuff is just stuff to make you run your business. It's important, but I feel like there's so many people who would be good lifestyle coaches, but they get stuck in the startup. And so we teach them that, and we teach them how to actually coach someone into a healthy lifestyle, stress management, sleep, all types of initiatives that they can learn. And so it's awesome. And I love doing it. We have another one coming the end of September. And again, it's really small. So when people hear the word academy, they're like, oh, you mean when there's like 1,000 people? No, it's a small group, and it's online, and it's wonderful. And it's such a purposeful thing for me, because I truly feel the world needs more really good lifestyle coaches that want to help others live a healthy lifestyle too. So that it's just such a great passion of mine.
Well, and I saw that you had some new facilities opening. Are you opening new Cathy Savage gyms? What's going on there?
I know. You know what? We are in the process of perhaps buying a new building and creating a bigger space that's for fitness competitors, as well as more holistic healing and things like that. So that's a big process. So in the meantime, we are having everything that we do in our studio at other studios as well. And so there's 4 locations right now in Massachusetts. And of course, we have affiliates all over the country doing sessions in their state, just for people who want to get a good workout in, I want to learn how to pose. But the whole idea of expanding right now is to kind of give us time for the process of having a special building that we can buy, because I don't like to pay rent. so it's kind of twofold, but it also serves people in other locations. And I love that. I don't want to just have one area that people have to come to, especially when we have such a global brand. So there's a lot of exciting things happening, and I just love it. I'm so blessed.
Well, one of the things I love about your brand is basically if you've just had a baby, or you're in menopause, or, whatever your struggle, you don't have to count calories to get in the best shape of your life with Cathy's programs and her nutrition and the hands-on coaching. Tell us more about how a person can become a Savage Girl and what that means. What is a Savage Girl?
Well, yeah, I mean, Savage is just my name, my maiden name. But what it conjures up is something different. And, people used to come to me, or they still think that they have to compete just to be a Savage Girl. And that's not the case. 50% of the women on our team compete, like you, Linda. And then 50% of them just want to look that way, or they want to do a transformation contest, or lose some weight, or just look good for their wedding, or run a race. So it varies what people get out of our program. But what they mostly get is a beautiful sisterhood, a unique community that understands where they want to be. Because there are people, and Linda, you're a great example. So if Linda walks into her high school reunion and says, you know what, oh God, I want to lose some weight for the next high school reunion. And her friends are going to be like, excuse me, Linda, you look amazing. Like, we would kill to look like you. But Linda has it in her goal that she knows what she wants to look like, but her friends don't really understand. And so we have a lot of women like that who your goal isn't going to be judged by someone else. Because to look at you, Linda, people would kill for your body. But you want to improve something, bigger shoulders, smaller weight, whatever it may be. So we have that type of understanding in our community. But we also have people who don't want to count calories, don't want to starve themselves, want to learn how to eat and honor their body through fueling their body, and want a goal and want to celebrate their hard work in the gym through some type of show or event, whatever it may be. And that's the beauty of our team. We believe in fueling the soul and fueling the mindset behind honoring and respecting your body enough to choose good foods, all of those things. So yeah, the myths of competing are so out there and so outrageous, and we just don't do it that way. And as a result, women compete longer, or they get to their goal because they're respecting their body and feeding it instead of starving it. And that's kind of what this tribe is all about. It's all about really honoring these women and men all around the globe, coming together to support one another in a beautiful environment, getting through challenges, getting through adversity. And we've had plenty of them on our team, sickness and health and loved ones. And just the incredible bond that these women share, no matter where they live, is amazing. And I take responsibility for making sure that they stay healthy. We are health first, as you know. Linda, if you came to me and said, I want to do 2 shows in a row, you know what I'd say? I'd say, no, you can't do that. It's not good for your body. Or if you're getting too thin, I'm going to say, Linda, cut it out. We need to, we want to be a health first type of business. And that's what we are. So the contests, the shows, the $40 trophies are great and we win them all. But I really am more passionate about your health moving forward, and women in menopause, and women who have a baby and want to rock that stage with a good, healthy goal. That's what makes us different, that we're health first in a world, as you said, of people who go to the extremes and don't honor their health. We're just an alternative. Alternative. Yeah.
And I can attest to everything Cathy has said. I know when I started with Cathy Savage Fitness, I was on fat burners, and fat burners took more than they ever gave me. They burned out my adrenal health, and I don't think I burned much fat. I literally burned fat when I started doing what Cathy has you do, which is to eat whole, healthy, nutritious foods and not to eliminate food groups. Mm-hmm. And I had glowing health, more energy, the best routines I've ever put down, I'm in my 50s and literally started placing top 5 in my 50s. So I'm just saying, like, it's really transformed my health and my life because your approach is non-extreme. And it's for everybody. It's for every woman. And I love the sisterhood. I want to shout out to my savage sisters out there.
Well, they all love you. They love you.
And we're all chirping on the Savage page. So you guys should all look into Cathy Savage Fitness and check it out. Check it out.
Sweet. Thank you.
Yeah. So I have so enjoyed talking to you today.
Oh, it's been wonderful.
This has been awesome. And what is in the future for you? Do you have anything lined up that we should know about?
Oh my gosh. There's always something evolving out of our programs. Right now I'm getting excited for the fall season, and you are a big part of that. And next year I'm partnering with Paul Busetta for a major historical fitness event in May, where it's not a competition, it's an actual experience for aspiring fitness enthusiasts. And he will be sharing more of that through Strong Fitness Magazine, where women are going to be just brought together for the right reasons, because there's a lot of things we can do for women in fitness that don't involve first, second, third, fourth, fifth place. And
oh my gosh,
I'm really excited for that, because I think it's going to change the whole face of our fitness world. And he is someone who he's one of my close friends and buddies, but he really wants to make a difference in this fitness world for women who want opportunity. And so that is really exciting for 2018. And there's always something going on.
Yeah, I love that too, because I feel like you were talking about, how do you turn around when you were on a losing team or whatever. Only so many people at an actual fitness competition, that you might all look great. It was just they liked orange that day, or they liked, purple. So how, all these people walk away, without a trophy, and literally this strong thing, this Strong Fitness Magazine thing that you guys are having is going to change the face of fitness, because it's going to be more based on who you are, and everybody's going to be celebrated, right?
Right. And feedback from photographers, like, hey, what do I need to work on? And having amazing, education and opportunity on stage without being judged. I mean, how many times, you shouldn't walk away from a show. And Linda, you just said it so well. it's, there's 100 people in a show and 5 people get a trophy. I mean, those odds aren't good enough for me anymore. And I want to recognize hard work and dedication. And there's something in it for everyone. And you've got to find what you are to the fitness world. And it's usually not just a trophy. And so we want to help women explore what they do and help them do it. And they shouldn't have to just rely on a $40 trophy to experience this amazing industry. So we're going to make it right. We're going to make it right. And, it's just going to be yet another thing for women to be a part of.
Yeah, because you get trophies sometimes you don't. You may look your best even too. And literally, I remembered something you had said to me this year about how you never know who you're inspiring. And that is so true. Oh my gosh. Yep. I had come home from my show. I was in the gym and this gal came in and she was younger than I was, 40s. And she looked up at my picture and she was like, what how many years ago? I'm like, that was this year. I was like, and she was like in awe that I was doing like a planche on one arm, but like I took it for granted and I did not win a trophy. And you know what I'm saying? I was like, I really got it. I really got it in that moment that look at all the things that you are doing. And, when you are inspired, you are inspiring somebody out there, even if you don't win a trophy. And that's why I'm so excited about this whole Strong Fitness Magazine thing, because you're going to be focusing more on what really matters.
Yes, exactly. And it's just, something that should have happened a long time ago. We've been talking about it for years. It's finally coming into fruition. But you're right, Linda. Every single person who's consistent and going to the gym and even doing a show, you are such an inspiration, because people don't usually come up to you and say you're an inspiration, but you are. And that's really what it's all about. It's, at the end of the day, no one's going to remember who won a show last year, but they're going to remember the mark that you left on them, Linda. When you walk into a gym and you're doing your thing, there are people who are so afraid to talk to you, but little by little, they look up to you and they are doing a little more themselves because they're seeing you do it. And I wish every single person had that knowledge to know that they have a lot to say with people who they don't even know, that they are an inspiration. And with that, I want people to recognize that more, because we are helping people that we don't even know. And I know that you're one of them for sure.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for those kind words. And basically, I think one of the biggest things is learning in life, and also competition and everything else. You are going to have some certain outcomes. If you work out hard, you're going to get in shape. If you eat healthy, you're going to be healthier. But you can't control every outcome. So you have to unhook yourself from the outcome and enjoy the journey. And that is what I plan on doing wholeheartedly this year.
Well, the great Tony Robbins says, change your expectation for appreciation and you'll always be happy.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Well, so what are 3 simple truths, because I know you have many, that you can leave with the audience today?
Oh, wow. Got just 3? Let's see. Well, I like to say, do the work and trust the process. That's my first one, because you got to do the work and trust that it will work and you'll find your success. I would say family should always be the centerpiece of your life, because it will always work out well if you have them front and center. And if you don't have a family, put your pet, something you love, put something you love and cherish as the centerpiece of your life and work around that. And third is to always stand in your truth, meaning, and that goes to the 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. And if you haven't read that book, please do, for your listeners, is to just always do your best, stand in your truth. And at the end of the day, when you know that you've done your best by standing in your truth and holding on to values, having a moral code, living by that, sometimes it's popular, sometimes it's not. But if you stand in your truth, then you'll always have your answer and you'll always have your guiding light. And that has served me well over the years, Linda. And I know that it is a recipe for success and truth. It's as easy as that. Keep it easy. That's what I got.
I love it. I love it. And who is your favorite coach? Because I know you are mine. So who is your favorite coach that you look up to? It could be a guy. It could be a sports person. Who is it?
There's two. One is John Wooden, the famous basketball coach, but my greatest inspiration, and from what I take all of my style from, is Bill Belichick, who's the head coach of the New England Patriots. And I study him, I research him, I know everything about him, and I just know success, and I know how to get a champion team together. And if you watch him, that's me. And he is my greatest inspiration. Nobody even comes close, other than my father, who was my coach of life. But in the reality world of what people know, Coach Bill Belichick has been the greatest inspiration for me. Second place, John Wooden, and Coach K, who's a basketball coach at Duke. So there you go. I mean, that's who I follow. I don't follow the pie in the sky stuff. Even though I like it, it just doesn't resonate with me. I want champions. I want results. And when you want to have objective success, you look at the sports guys.
And my last question is,
and you're like, who are they?
Character... No, I'm going to look at this later. I'm going to be like looking at what they did.
Yeah.
What are the characteristics of a champion?
Oh, these are great questions. The characteristics of a champion. I know, right? It's almost 3. London's waiting for me. The characteristics of a champion, really simple. Be coachable. Be coachable. The greatest champions I've ever had have not been negotiators. If I told Lori Harder to cut her hair, she would. If I told Wendy West to do a split on the left versus the right, she did. If I told Alicia Marie to get pictures off to get the cover of Oxygen, she did. Be coachable, be consistent, be humble, be grounded. Those are the marks I know a champion right away. When someone starts questioning and not trusting and not listening or selective listening, I lose interest really fast. And that is being coachable is the mark of a champion, because even the greatest athletes in the world need coaches. So you have to be coachable to get to that next level, and to never be satisfied, and to always be striving for that personal best to get that competitive edge. That's what makes up a champion.
Well, thank you. And you have coached plenty of champions, so I'm going to listen to you.
Oh, and I love you. You're
love
amazing.
You. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on the Sisterhood of Sweat today. Thanks everyone for listening. Please review in iTunes and let Cathy know how much you enjoyed her today. And where can we reach you on social media?
My Facebook is Cathy Savage. Can't miss that. Instagram, Cathy Savage Official. Or is it official? Oh, it's official Cathy Savage. Good Lord, I don't even know my own handles. But my website is cathysavage.com, and you can find all my social media platforms there.
Well, reach out to Cathy. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thanks, Linda. Love you.
Thanks. Love you. Bye, everybody on Facebook.